Doug and the Duck, a tale of friendship and freedom. Doug was a loyal hunting dog who lived with his hunter master in a small cabin on the edge of the forest. He had always been taught to hunt ducks, and he was very good at it. But one day, something unexpected happened. Doug was out hunting when he came across a duck in the pond. But this duck was different from all the others he had ever encountered. It was friendly and curious, and it didn't seem to be afraid of him. Doug was confused. He had always thought that ducks were meant to be hunted, but this duck seemed so harmless and innocent. As he watched the duck swimming around in the pond, something inside him started to change. He felt a strange connection to the duck, and he began to question everything he had ever been taught about hunting. What if there was another way to live, one where he could be friends with the animals instead of hunting them? Doug knew that he had a decision to make. He could either continue living his life as a hunting dog, or he could choose a new path and follow his heart. But before he could make that choice, he would have to help the duck escape from his master's grasp. Doug knew that his master would be angry if he found out that he had let the duck go. But he also knew that he couldn't bear to see the duck get hurt. So, he made a plan. He pretended to chase the duck, barking loudly to make it seem like he was doing his job. But secretly, he was guiding the duck towards the forest, away from the hunter's reach. As they ran deeper into the forest, Doug could feel his heart pounding in his chest. He didn't know what would happen next, but he knew that he had to keep the duck safe. Finally, they reached a clearing, where they met a group of animals who lived in the forest. There were rabbits, squirrels, and even a wise old owl. They welcomed Doug and the duck, offering them a place to stay and a sense of belonging. Doug was amazed. He had never seen such kindness and compassion before. He knew that he had made the right choice in helping the duck escape, and he felt a sense of freedom and liberation that he had never felt before. As he looked at the duck, now known as Daniel, he knew that their friendship would last forever. And he also knew that he had a new purpose in life, to protect and care for the animals in the forest, and to show them the same love and compassion that they had shown him. Doug quickly settled into his new life in the forest. He learned to hunt for food in a different way, catching small rodents and insects instead of ducks. He also learned to communicate with the other animals, and they became his new family. Daniel the duck was also very happy in the forest. He enjoyed swimming in the clear streams and playing with the other ducks and animals. He felt grateful to Doug for saving his life and giving him a chance to live in freedom. But Doug couldn't forget about his old life completely. He knew that his master would be looking for him, and he worried about what would happen if they were ever found. One day, as he was out foraging for food, he heard a familiar voice calling his name. It was his master, and he was calling out for him to come back. Doug felt a pang of fear and guilt. He didn't want to leave the forest, but he also didn't want to disobey his master. He felt torn between his old life and his new one. He knew that he had to make a decision soon, but he didn't know what to do. As he sat by the stream, pondering his options, he heard a familiar buzzing sound. It was Barney the bee, one of his new forest friends. Barney could sense that something was wrong, and he asked Doug what was troubling him. Doug poured out his heart, telling Barney about his conflicted feelings and his fear of his master. Barney listened patiently, and then he spoke. "Doug," he said, "you have to follow your heart. You know that what you did was right, and you have to stand by your choices." Doug realized that Barney was right. He had to be true to himself and his new family, even if it meant leaving his old life behind. With a sense of determination, he made up his mind to stay in the forest and protect his friends, no matter what. As the days passed, Doug's master continued to search for him in the forest. He enlisted the help of other hunters and even brought his pack of dogs to track him down. Doug and his friends knew they had to be careful. They stayed hidden in the thicket, using their sharp senses to stay one step ahead of the hunters. One day, while they were out foraging, they heard a loud gunshot. They knew it was coming from their direction and that they had to hurry back to the thicket to hide. When they arrived, they found that one of the ducks had been hit by the bullet. It was Daniel, and he was badly injured. Doug was devastated. He knew that he had to act quickly to save his friend's life. He remembered Barney's advice to follow his heart, and he knew what he had to do. He flew into action, using his keen sense of smell to find the right herbs and plants to make a healing poultice. He worked tirelessly to nurse Daniel back to health, never giving up hope. Finally, after many long days and nights, Daniel began to show signs of improvement. He was able to swim again, and his feathers began to grow back. Doug felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. He knew that he had made the right choice by staying in the forest and protecting his friends. But his troubles weren't over yet. His master was still looking for him, and he knew that he had to face the consequences of his actions. Doug knew that he couldn't keep running forever. He decided to face his master and accept the consequences of his actions. When he saw his master, he was surprised to find that the hunter wasn't angry. In fact, he was relieved to see Doug safe and sound. He had realized that his loyal dog was more important than any duck he could ever shoot. Doug's master made a decision to leave the forest and to stop hunting altogether. He saw the beauty and wonder of the forest, and he wanted to live in harmony with nature instead of trying to conquer it. Doug was overjoyed to hear this news. He knew that he could now live peacefully in the forest with his friends, without fear of being hunted or harmed. And so, Doug and his animal friends lived happily ever after in the forest. They roamed free, exploring every inch of the beautiful woodland and enjoying each other's company. Doug realized that he had made the right choice by following his heart and protecting his friends. He had found a new purpose in life, one that was much more meaningful and fulfilling than simply obeying his master's orders. He knew that he had found a family in the forest, and he would always protect and care for them, no matter what challenges they might face. And as for Daniel the duck, he remained Doug's closest friend. They swam together in the nearby pond, sharing stories of their adventures and the many wonders of the forest. They knew that they had found true friendship and love, and that they would always be there for each other, come what may. Good night, little ones. Sleep easy with the knowledge that Doug will be with friends and will live happy.